My name's Jenny Turpin and
I'm Michaela Crawford.
And we are artists who work at the interface of art, science, environment and community. And we've created an artwork called Operation Crayweed Artwork Site. And it's an artwork that is basically highlighting a really interesting, important and good news story for the environment, a project called Operation Crayweed that was initiated by scientists from the University of New South Wales and the Sydney Institute of Marine Science. And essentially they've replanted a species of seaweed that used to live here at Bondi but was lost some decades ago because of water pollution, but the water quality is improved and the seaweed is been replanted and only just a few weeks ago. So we've created an artwork that's 1/2 kilometre long. It's made out of various components and it is basically to highlight the otherwise invisible work that the scientists are doing underwater. So we've created, the main part of the artwork is a 1/2 kilometre long bright yellow marine construction fence which is sort of encircling the bay and marking the underwater construction site. And that fence is made of materials that are known to everybody, but we've used them in an artful way. We're working with bunting and mesh and crab floats. We've got view scopes up on the hill on the other side. And there's various components to the project that all come together to create one big installation.
Yeah. So what we have on site is, I guess we could summarise it as an artwork site for an invisible underwater science work. So we're really trying to bring together those two ideas about what the scientists are doing, the work that the scientists are doing, and the artwork is to highlight that. So hence our materials that we've chosen. And then to go with that, to accompany that is a really extensive education project that we've been working with the local school students from the area. So there's a number of local public schools, Bronte, Coogee, Bondi, Rainbow Street and Randwick Boys and Girls High and Clovelly, and together they've been involved in science and art workshops and also creating special music for a launch event we had yesterday. So the kids were involved in the science and art workshops. They spent 2 weeks with the scientists learning about the restoration of the crayweed on the site, the importance of that, the biodiversity that it will return to the site, and they went out on excursions to do that. And then a couple of weeks after that we came in and worked with them for 2 weeks doing art workshops where they built really wonderful wearable costumes, wearable sculptures of some of the animals that will come back to live in this crayweed.
And they made them out of the materials that we supplied, the same materials that we've used for constructing the fence. So it's that whole idea of when a child embodies a creature, an animal, it puts them in mind of thinking of what it would be like to be a sea urchin or a weedy sea dragon.
And yesterday we had the most extraordinary launch event where the kids came, the kids who've made the costumes and the kids who've done the incredible music for our event with very special crayweed songs. There was hundreds of children and they played beautiful music, and then the children with their costumes paraded along the fence line. So they were wearing costumes which were in that fence line material, walking along there, blowing their whistles, raising awareness about the crayweed restoration on site. And the whole community was just enthralled. Yeah. It was lovely.
And we're very much interested in making artwork that connects with community, and it's all about sort of activating. I mean, that community outreach project was about activating the fence in a sense. So just creating movement and interest for the public about what's going on. We also had a buoy, a floating buoy in the water that did get washed away with the big storm the other day, but we retrieved it and we're hoping to put it back. Yeah. And it marks the spot of where the crayweed is planted. And it also provides a focus for the 3 view scopes on the hill at Knott's Avenue near icebergs, which are also part of the work. And the idea is that they themselves are made from buoy components, so the same as the one that was floating in the water, you look through these cones, which are traffic cones. So we're just using the visual language of ubiquitous construction safety. You look through the cones and they have a cross that says Operation Crayweed. It focuses you on the water, and you just see the water. So it's all about, you know, focusing on the invisible.
And there's just one last component to add. Well, there's actually two. As well as the kids activating the sculpture in the site, we've also had, we've been working with scientists from the University of New South Wales, and their students have been coming down every day for about 3 hours a day, and they're talking to passers-by about the work, about the artwork and about the science work, and they're also running a questionnaire so they can start to understand how can art be used to communicate important scientific messages to the community, and how can this change people's behaviour and understanding of the world around them. So it's been a really interesting collaboration. And
they provide people with podcasts and bright yellow headphones with the Operation Crayweed markers on them, so people can listen in great detail, a little more detail about the science project.
And just finally, we've got a wonderful group of ocean swimmers who come every weekend and swim around the buoy to raise further attention to what we're doing here.
We were really delighted to have the opportunity to work in this magnificent location, and it suddenly dawned upon us that when the invitation came that we knew about the Operation Crayweed project because previous conference about water last year, already met the scientists, and the penny dropped and we thought, hang on a moment, these scientists are going to be doing this work, we know that they're going to be doing it along the coast, why don't we collaborate with them and select Bondi as the first replanting site and do an artwork to highlight what they're doing and make it part of Sculpture by the Sea. And they've joined in with such enthusiasm.
It's been fantastic. And the other thing for us as artists is we really relish the opportunity to work very specifically with a particular place, so that our work is always site specific. It's always about the environment that it's in. So I suppose it's quite an unusual work that you might see at Sculpture by the Sea, but it's very much related to this place. It's attached to the pedestrian handrail of the fantastic coastal walk, and it as much outlines the beautiful form of the landscape we're in, and it picks up on the light. It casts beautiful shadows on the path. You know, the bunting moves in the wind, the buoy, when it's back, bobs with the waves. So it's also very much about highlighting this place that's here and the particular energies of the environment at the very moment that you're with it.